Hi there everyone, welcome back. So today I'm going to be giving my honest in-depth review of the Giggle. Now starting with the opening scene, I did like this one because I thought it was very cool how the toy maker implemented himself 98 years in the past to be able to set out for 2023. I also thought it was very fitting how it was the toy maker who did this with the doll and how the doll was burning and laughing at the end and then it cuts to the titles. I really feel like it helped set the tone for this episode, which was really quite enjoyable until a certain aspect. Now, straight after the titles, we had the bit where there was the chaos in the street and the toy maker dancing with the Doctor and sort of waving at him, toying with the Doctor before the Doctor actually worked out who he was. I really did like that. I also liked how they used an extra for Bernard Cribbins and used his voice from Series 4, because of course Bernard Cribbins couldn't make it to this third special, unfortunately. So I did like how they implemented that as well, that was quite cool. And then when the Doctor was taken to the unit base, again very reminiscent of the 50th anniversary, and actually the unit base itself looks extremely cool. Again, like I said in my initial thoughts, it is still very weird when Kate goes up to the Doctor. I still expect her to hit him the way she just goes up to him, it's quite unusual. Then of course we go in and we see Mel. Now, I am glad we had a returning character such as Mel, but I do feel like it's quite random. Just Mel, it's just such a random character to come back. And outside of the main cast, she's really the only returning main character. I'm surprised they never brought back someone like Martha. I would have liked Martha to come back instead. But it's great we got Mel and a backstory, and I like how they sort of linked it back to the support group subtly. So that was quite cool. But again, it does feel a bit random having a character such as Mel come back. Now, as just mentioned, I really do like this new unit base. I also like the Vlinks. He looks extremely cool, and I think it's really cool how unit has someone like that, a sort of robot alien, to actually help them. I would love to get the backstory of how he came to be in unit and more about him. So I'd look forward to finding out more about him, because I'm sure we're definitely going to get to see more of him in the future. Now, I did like also in the unit base the sort of dark tones that happened. The pilot. Now, you might not think it's sort of dark, but the fact that he willingly crashed the plane and sort of killed all the passengers on board, that was quite dark. And then when Kate took off her device as well, saying she saw Shirley walk, that was sort of dark as well. So I really like that turn, and it really just showed how dark and horrible humanity can be. Again, like the Doctor said, we shouldn't use the Giggle as an excuse, because all that hatred out there is actually us, and we can't use it as an excuse. It was great to see the return of Trinity Wells as well. I think that she was like part of most of our childhoods in Doctor Who. So it's great to see her back, and it's very modern for her to have her own show. That's very nowadays. So that was quite cool. And also that sort of anti-Zdex device, that does feel very reminiscent to the pandemic. So again, it's Russell T Davies using what we know and sort of making it in Doctor Who, making it feel much more real as well. Also, something I really like is when the Doctor put the Giggle on all the screens and you listen to it, it would generally drive you mad, so it just makes it feel even more real as well. So I really like that bit. And again, the Doctor makes a good point about humans, about how all that hatred out there is actually us. And it's also really cool how the toy maker actually enjoys humans because of all the things we do, like the ghosting and everything like that, just sort of the games we play, and how it makes the toy maker dizzy. So again, it does show like the worst parts of humanity, which Doctor Who does sometimes show it. Yeah, it does explain how brilliant humanity can be, but it also shows how horrible it can be at the same time. It was also quite funny when Donna was offered the job and she sort of said more money and 5 weeks holiday, and then Kate says done, and Donna's quite surprised. I really like that. I would have probably enjoyed it more if it never actually could have happened because something bad happened to Donna. I'll go into that into more detail, but I really like that as well. And again, when the Doctor was talking to Mel, it was great to hear what's happened to her since we last saw her, and again, sort of like linking it back to the support group. Now, when they land in 1925, I really do like how Donna goes over sort of the Doctor staggering along and saying how she's never mentioned to her before. Again, it's like Rose in the school reunion. And I really like how it's mentioned again with the staggering, because I do feel like the Doctor has staggered on a lot. He's sort of got a lot of baggage with him, a lot of guilt. So I'm surprised that he has managed to go on. I really like how they've addressed it, but I don't really like how it's been resolved. In a way I do, but in a way I don't, but I'll get more onto that later. Now, when the Doctor and Donna come face to face with the toy maker, again, I enjoyed this one as well, because I like how he's throwing the balls and he still had 3 balls, and then he's sort of giving that sort of story of the beginning and end of humanity and all the savagery. I really like that. And then when Donna stopped it, and then he says, I wondered which one of you had the balls. That was quite funny again. Also, you could tell by the Doctor's reaction just how serious the toy maker is, and the music and everything. It just fits so well. It really does make it feel like a dangerous character. Very high stakes. So I really liked how they played on that as well. Now, when they go through the corridors and they play all the games, it is very reminiscent to me of 1966, The Toy Maker. So I really do like that and how they did that as well. Again, it was great to hear the references of the previous creatures Donna's face, like the Adipose and Davros. And I really liked how they went into each room. I thought the doctor's room was quite creepy as well. How he said, if Mummy could see me now. So that was quite sort of dark and creepy. I really liked that. And Donna's one, I liked how she walked in and said, if this is a trick, I'll kill you. Very Donna that was. So I really liked that one as well. And then the Suki Sue saying the rhymes, and then the baby sort of coming down behind Donna. They did really remind me of Weeping Angel, so I thought that was quite cool. But yeah, that was really cool. And then I liked how Donna said, hi Suki, my name's Donna and now you're a goner. That was great as well. So it was a really great scene there. And then I like how we moved on to the Toymaker going over the past. That was great fan service for me. I really liked how we went over Amy and Clara and Bill and the Flux. It was great for Donna to see that, and it was great for just us to experience it again and just go over the stories. And I like how the Doctor sort of justified each companion's exit. It sort of gives them reasons as to why they sort of survived and didn't just outright die. So I liked that as well. And I liked how the Toymaker said, oh, rule of three, let's make it 2023, and then they end up in 2023. Again, that's something small, but I really like that as well. I also like how it was addressed, the salt scene in Wild Blue Yonder, and why the Doctor didn't want to do it. I also like how in the end Kate binds them in salt as well. I thought that was quite a nice link back as well. Something this special did really well was set up the future of Doctor as well, and one thing it really did was sort of bring sort of back the Master and say how he was dying and he played one more game and lost and got sealed in the Gold Tooth, and then the Gold Tooth gets picked up by presumably a woman. Again, very reminiscent of Series 3, so I really liked that as well. And I liked how he said he'd come across one and he didn't dare face them. Again, setting up high stakes for a character in the future, because if the Toymaker is really dangerous, imagine how bad this one is. So I really like how they did that as well, and I thought that was really cool as well. Now, my favourite scene will definitely have to be the Spice Up Your Life scene. I really love that, and I think most people really enjoyed that as well, because it was just so Toymaker-ish. I really enjoyed it. I thought Neil Patrick Harris did extremely well with it, and I really liked how the Doctor was sort of totally powerless. Like when he turned the people into the balls and their consciousness was in the balls, and he said, they're dead, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. It's just like the Doctor sort of just standing there completely powerless. The way he plays with Kate and Mel and throws Kate on the wall quite violently. And I like how he appears from the different doors with making the noises and everything, with the bell and everything. I just really loved this scene. It was just so enjoyable, and how he made the gun sort of shoot flowers. Again, he was totally taking over the unit base and just completely showing how he's outside the sort of universe and the laws of physics and everything. So it's a really cool scene, really enjoyable, and a great song to pick because Spice Up Your Life just fitted very well with this, so I really enjoyed this one. Now, unlike my other reviews, I'm not going to give a sort of ranking of how I feel of it with the first time watching it and the second, because I'm still not sure how I feel about this special. So instead, I'm going to rank it from up to this scene, and up to now, I would have ranked it a solid 8 out of 10. And the reason I'm ranking it now, and I'm going to give another ranking later on, is because this is where I feel like the sort of special takes a downhill turn. I'm not sure how I feel about everything after this. Before, it was really good. Afterwards, I'm not too sure. I did like how the Toymaker was sort of killing all the soldiers and threw them off the building as well. And I like how Kate sort of afterwards asked for the names of them as well. That was really good. Now, the Toymaker himself, I was really surprised when he shot the Doctor. And we knew it was coming, he was going to die, but it was sort of unexpected how he just randomly shot him as well. It was quite sad and quite emotional as well. I got more emotional about it than I thought I would. These last few specials have really grown again on David and Catherine, Donna and the Doctor. So I was quite emotional seeing him regenerate, and I really like how Donna went up to him and saying, I don't care what you do to me, I'm going to look after him. And then the Toymaker sort of says, handmaidens, that's fine. So I really like that, and it was really emotional. So up to this scene, I did really like the special. I thought it was really emotional. Now, I didn't like the bi-regeneration, but when it actually was happening, the regeneration, I really did get emotional. It really did remind me of the 13th Doctor's regeneration, because I felt really upset when she regenerated, because she was my favourite Doctor. So up until then, I was upset, but then the bi-regeneration happened and I wasn't sure how I felt about it. For a while I was working out why the 15th Doctor didn't have trousers on. I thought, well, why have they done that? But it's because they've sort of split and sort of taken half of each other's clothes. Although, if the 15th Doctor has pants on, does that mean the 14th Doctor is going commando? A weird thing to think about, but if they're sharing clothes, then is that the case? Mind you, the 15th Doctor had a shirt and shoes, so it could be double-did pants, but I thought that was quite an unusual thing. Now, something we're not going to get to see with the 15th Doctor is sort of his post-regeneration sort of delusionalness. I don't know how you describe it, because we never got that for the 14th Doctor, but that's fine because we only had him for 3 specials. But because of this bi-regeneration, we're not going to get that like we did for the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, the 13th Doctor, so that's a shame because I do really like that. But that's something we're not going to definitely see in the new era, unfortunately. Again, after the bi-regeneration scene, it does go downhill a lot. I thought the ball game to defeat the Toymaker was quite weak since he was such a powerful villain, and he just didn't catch it, and that's how we sort of got his ending. So I'm not really keen on that. Although when he did sort of get locked away in the box, I like how he said his legions are coming. Again, setting up something for the future, so I really liked how that special did this. Now, this was the scene where the hand picks up the tooth, and if you listen, the laughs do remind me of previous Masters, although there is one laugh which I couldn't place. Now, the only female Master we've had is Missy, but it didn't sound like her. So is this a possible hint towards another female Master in the future? It is definitely a possibility. Now, when they're going over their past in the TARDIS, I really like that, and I really like how there's sort of been confirmation that Sarah Jane has definitely gone in the Whoniverse. Very sad, but it's great that it's now being confirmed as well. I do like how the Doctor is now getting a rest, because I definitely think he needs it, and we can sort of move on for him being full of guilt and everything, and have a different side to the Doctor. But I don't like how there's two Doctors out there, and I don't like how it takes away from the emotionalness of the regeneration, because the Doctor survives. And I hope this is a one-off and this doesn't happen all the time, otherwise regenerations are going to be no longer sad. And I feel like it sort of does take away from the emotions of a regeneration. I'm also quite disappointed we never got a sad ending for Donna. I do like Donna, but I feel like a sad ending would have helped make it even better. Again, I feel like it's sort of overwriting the great ending she had in Series 4. And I will be doing a sort of full in-depth review of the whole 60th, just in general, of what I feel about it. But I really feel like Donna's ending sort of being rewritten sort of did spoil the Series 4 ending. And I just feel like it was just too easy and everyone got away. Again, I like how the Doctor's rested, but I don't like how it's sort of gone about it. Another thing I really don't like is how there's another TARDIS in this universe. I spoke about this in my initial thoughts again, but I don't like how there's another TARDIS, seeing as in the parallel universe in Series 4 they cut a scene where the Doctor gave the Meta-Crisis Doctor and Rose a TARDIS because they didn't want to explain another TARDIS in a parallel universe. But if they didn't want to explain that, how comes it's acceptable to have another TARDIS in this universe? So I don't like how they've done that, and it just really annoys me how the Meta-Crisis Doctor and Rose never got a TARDIS, but this Doctor has got one. Again, it doesn't make sense to me. Another thing that doesn't make sense is if the 14th Doctor dies, like when he regenerates eventually, does that mean there's going to be two 15th Doctors? How does he sort of die? How does it sort of go about that? Does he sort of like... Because obviously the 15th Doctor begins at the unit skyscraper. So I don't know how that's going to sort of work out. Does the 14th Doctor just sort of die? And then it just doesn't make sense to me how they're going to do that or how it's going to be done. It probably won't be shown on screen. But again, that doesn't make sense to me. Again, this is why I'm not sure on this bi-regeneration thing. Now, we saw a fair chunk of the 15th Doctor, and so far I haven't warmed to him. That's not because he's been a bad Doctor. He feels very different from the Doctor we've sort of had before. It's always great when there's a change, and Doctor Who thrives on change, it's brilliant. But for me, he feels very, very, very far separated from any Doctor we've had before. So I feel like if I am going to get used to him, it's going to take a while. But so far I haven't warmed to him, and him dancing in the club in the Next Time trailer for Christmas feels again very separated from anything we'd have with any other Doctor. Yeah, the Doctor sort of visited the club in the past, and yes, the Doctor has danced at a wedding, but to be sort of dancing in some sort of nightclub or whatever this looks like feels very separate from the Doctors we've had before. I couldn't really see someone like Capaldi doing this, so it does feel very different for me, so it's going to take a bit of time to get used to, but at the moment I haven't warmed to him. Again, we've got the Christmas special coming up, but we've only seen him for about 10 minutes, so we need to give it time, but he does feel very separated, so it's probably a good thing, but for me, it's at least going to take a while to get used to him. All in all, I enjoyed most characters in the 60th anniversary. I really enjoyed Donna's character. I feel like I really grew on her more than I did for Series 4. Again, I'm really disappointed she didn't get a sad ending. I like how the 14th Doctor is rested, but I don't like how it's gone about. The 15th Doctor, I haven't warmed to him yet, so we're going to have to give it more time. And although I really enjoyed David Tennant and his performance, I really do want this to be his last appearance. He's been in Doctor Who so much. We've had him in all the extended media, the 50th, the 60th. I think it's time to give him a rest now. Some other random bits I've really enjoyed of the 60th was no change there then with the politician, Archangel Network reference, not Stooky Bill, Lady Bill, using us like toys. Let's make it 2023 as mentioned, and there is no one faster on the keyboard. So just to sum it up, I did enjoy the Giggle up to the bi-regeneration scene, and I'm not happy with the endings of each character. Again, I'm going to do an in-depth review of the whole 60th just in general, just of my thoughts of the characters and how it sort of progressed, and if the 60th anniversary was any good in the end. So, but for the Giggle, I enjoyed it up until the bi-regeneration scene, and I'm not happy with the endings of the characters such as the 14th Doctor and Donna. But in total, it was an enjoyable special, so I would rate it with the bi-regeneration scene at 7 out of 10. Without it, 8 out of 10. But with the bi-regeneration scene and everything after, a 7 out of 10. But I will be giving a full in-depth review of the 60th anniversary, so make sure to check it out when it is uploaded. Thank you for watching the video, I hope you enjoyed. And make sure to comment your thoughts below of what you thought of the Giggle, whether you enjoyed it or if you didn't, and what you liked or didn't like about it. I'd love to hear it. Hopefully see you in my next video soon. Thank you everyone, take care.